is Emotional Support Water Bottle with Hannah and Ailish. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. So I got Hannah and I a little present that I heard off of, surprise, surprise, another podcast and it was from a reality show. But it was Jill Zarin from Real Housewives. She I didn't even know that she had a website and sold stuff, but I heard on Juicy Scoop that she and her daughter, Allie, are selling these manifestation candles, and they have crystals in them, and you have your little manifestation, and then you burn the candle, and then you get the crystal, and then whatever you manifested is supposed to come to reality. So in honor of our podcast, I got us the manifestation candles that say dream. What did it say? Dream big or dream
I think it was
or something.
Yeah, big dream or something.
Yeah. About what's meant to be happening in our lives. So that could not just be about the podcast, but
right.
And they smell pretty good.
Yeah, they did smell good.
And the crystals are pretty cute. So thank you, Jill Zarin.
Can't wait to test it out.
Yeah, that was random, but I wanted to share because they actually are cute. And
they have really good packaging.
Yeah, that's what I was really impressed by, the packaging. And unlike Heather McDonald and Juicy Scoop, we do not have a promo code. So sorry. But just FYI to everyone about that.
Cool. We'll let you know if they work.
Yeah. I also, from listening to that same podcast from Heather McDonald, I just really love Juicy Scoop. I really like Heather McDonald in general.
I know. I enjoy her a lot too, actually.
And at first, I am not a loyal listener. I haven't been listening for, years or anything like that. But recently, I'm just enjoying conversations that she has with people and her
agree.
Perspectives. Yeah. But one thing that I don't know if this is a hot take. I think it kind of is. So I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone with this, but it was something that she discussed on her podcast, and it's something that I have felt for a while, and I haven't said anything. When couples divorce or separate and there are pets involved.
Oh, I was listening to that too.
And they make a big deal about having custody of the pets and joint custody every other weekend. It annoys me so much.
It's if there's kids or something, it's you can send the kids and send the dog or whatever. But I was honestly, when I was thinking about that with my husband and our two dogs, I was well, obviously I would have to take my dog Winnie.
Yeah.
Because she's obsessed with me. And I don't think my husband would give up our other dog, Zombie, but I would probably want to take him too.
Yeah. I love dogs. I truly do. And I know that you get so bonded with your pets and they are a real part of your family. But to literally hash out a custody agreement and then having to be dropping your pets off multiple times a week. I just find it that especially if you had a messy separation with your partner, how challenging would that be? Or then okay, if you start dating somebody else, well, I have to go over to my ex's to drop off the dogs. It's
what?
Yeah, I just find it so weird. Or then it almost feels like your relationship isn't fully tethered until then that animal dies.
Right.
I don't know. I think the point that you just said about that my one dog is more attached to me than your husband, that makes sense. Then you should take that animal.
I know. I don't think it should be a back and forth thing. And it'd be one thing too if it's oh, the dogs are with me. But hey, I'm going on vacation for a week. Can you take the dogs? I trust you with them.
Right. Like instead of putting it to like a boarding place or whatever.
I know. Like I think somebody's going to have to, either split up the pets or somebody's going to have to take it. Whoever, like if somebody had to go move into an apartment, it would be easier for the other person that's still in a house just to keep the animals.
Right. Or I always thought it was just so dumb and dramatic. Like, well, I mean, we're sharing custody of the dog. Why? Like, I love dogs so much, but they are not children.
Right.
Like, and I really think that the dog will adapt to whatever new place or living situation they have. Like, they will be fine.
Yes.
Like, I just think it's stupid. Like,
it is crazy to think about that. But I guess if you don't have kids, that seems like the big deal. But I still think it's just crazy. Like, I'd rather put in the divorce papers, like, this person gets the dogs, this person gets the cat.
Because it's almost like, how dramatic are we going to go with this? Like, are we going to have joint custody of the house?
Right.
Like, you live in it for, 6 months out of the year, and then
I've
the other
seen
person.
That, like, people do that, though, where it's like the kids always stay there, but then the other parent goes in and out. And that seems crazy. Like, I wouldn't want to live where my ex was living.
Right. And then I would feel like I would always have to have the house look a certain way when I was leaving, And then if it looked a different way when I came back, I'd be annoyed because...
I know.
I get where people are like, well, we want the kids to have a stable environment. But the stable environment isn't just created by the physical house.
No.
So I think, I don't know. I don't want to judge anybody who maybe is in that situation.
Right.
And I'm not in that situation. So I guess I can't fully know what I might do. But I don't think that would be the most efficient way of handling things.
Well, and then it's like you're both probably paying on that house. And then you each have an apartment or a different house that you have to go back to. Like, do you share that apartment too?
That's a good question.
How long do you keep that up for?
Right. And then, like we said before, if the one person starts dating somebody else, then that adds even.
I know. Where did they go?
Or what if the other person actually gets married?
Right.
Like, then is the other person going to be okay with them bringing their significant other now to the house?
Back into the house, sleeping in whatever bed, using the bathroom.
Right. I don't know. That just seems super messy. I know. So I'd say hard no on that and hard no on custody of pets.
I guess the dogs could stay. Did that.
Yeah.
Weird.
But just choose. Like, somebody take the dog, somebody take the cat, somebody take whatever. Like, don't. No.
Yes.
I find it dramatic, but that's just me.
I don't know if you've seen some of those. I'm sure they're TikToks and stuff too, but on the YouTube shorts, there's this family that keeps popping up. And I can't remember what their name is, but they're all like blonde and blue-eyed. And they, the girl just had a baby. And the one day she was like, oh, I'm getting dressed up for the first time since having the baby. I'm going to get my husband's reaction. And this is all, not scripted, allegedly.
Yeah.
He opens the door and, like, falls backwards and, like, back out the door. He's like, oh, my gosh. Like, I'm sorry, but that would hurt my feelings that I look so ugly when I put a dress on.
Suddenly I look that stunning.
Yeah, that you fall over. It's just so cringy and fake.
Right, like, that clearly is not a real reaction.
No, not at all. And it's just so cringy. And
sometimes with those two, like, I haven't seen that specific one, but there's so many that are similar, And it's just like, why are we doing this? And why are we making, like, I almost feel like it's meant to be kind of funny or, maybe like make the woman feel, I don't even know if it's supposed to make her feel good, like genuinely, because the whole thing is staged. But I almost feel like it kind of makes other people feel bad.
Yeah, no, it does. It's like, oh, well, why does my husband fall out and fall over and pass out when I won't do myself up?
Not that like every single thing that anybody does is like meant to make someone feel good about themselves or bad about themselves, or that we shouldn't post certain things because it's going to make certain people feel bad about themselves. Like, I think that's inevitable. But with stuff like that, it isn't even your reality.
Right.
Like, you just created that. Yeah.
I know. And you just wonder what these people's lives are when they're not recording it.
Yeah. Like, I saw one, I love Meredith Druxbury, I think is her last name. And she is on YouTube and on TikTok, but she's the one that does the makeup where she like has so much and puts it all over her face. And she's like super pretty and whatever. And she has her little boyfriend, Brandon, and they're just like loving their lives and living it up all over the world. But, the one video she did, she's like, I'm going to like put on my boyfriend's favorite color makeup on me and surprise him when he comes home. And like, I think she did the whole thing of her doing her makeup, and then she like set up the camera and then when he walked in, he was like, oh my God, like it actually did look more genuine. Like his reaction wasn't so like
over the top.
Yeah. And I feel like he probably was more surprised because she's in like a sweatsuit and then all like this gorgeous makeup look, and it's his favorite color. And it was like not what he was expecting. So he was just like, oh my God, you look beautiful. And then kissed her. And then that was the end of the video. Like, that's realistic, I think, you know?
Right. There's just so much that just seems like so fake. Like it didn't even happen. And then it's just like, why? Or how did you actually catch this on camera? Like there's stuff like that too, where you just have to question. Like I'm not saying there couldn't be a fluke thing where you do actually catch certain things, but it's like.
But you're saying, oh, honey, can you take all the kids and stay downstairs? I'm going to lock myself in my room for an hour while I get my hair, makeup, outfit all ready. And then when I yell, you can come up the stairs and I'm going to be recording you.
You're right. Or pretend to walk in the door. Here's a grocery bag. Act like you were out getting groceries. It's like, no.
That stuff is so silly. Like, and then it does make other people feel like they question their relationship.
Right. It's like, why aren't you that excited to see me?
But it's just completely unrealistic expectation. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if I think we reacted a little bit more. But like to fall over, come on.
I know. Like, give me a break.
If my husband did that to me, I would roll my eyes and be like, get up.
I know. Like, stop.
Just walk over him.
Yes.
Enough.
Like, let's go.
This is kind of random, but a few podcasts ago, we were talking about like my lack of a dating life, but this is how I am. Like I don't know, I'm not like uncomfortable with it, but I also kind of am. I don't really know how to describe it, but there's this guy that I work like adjacently to, and things that I do at work, like sometimes I'll see him and we'll have to work together on something, but it's not like he's my actual coworker. But I think that he like has a little crush on me and I am not reciprocating that like, in any way. But then it makes me feel really just awkward.
Yeah, or like uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it's not like he is a really nice guy and I have to work with him on stuff, and it's like it's not like there's anything wrong with him, but it's just like I'm not attracted to him.
Right.
I don't see a future with that, or I don't see anything with that. But every conversation that I have with him, I'm constantly thinking, okay, like don't smile too much. Don't laugh too much at what he says. Don't make too much eye contact. Like I'm overthinking.
Don't lead him on.
Yeah. I'm overthinking everything. And then the one day, this is just like earlier in the week, we were having a conversation about whatever. And we mentioned this event that we were mutually invited to. And he's like, oh, I wish that you would have been there. And I was just like,
why?
Yeah, no, I wasn't going. I deleted that email. Like, that's literally what I said. Like, yeah, I wasn't coming to that. And then there was another thing and another event that's coming up in like, I don't know, 2 months or something. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, it's great that you'll be here for this and we'll have a good time. I'm like, I'm going to be here for work.
Right.
Like, I have other reasons why I'm coming. It's not for you.
But it does seem like sometimes women can't be nice to men without them thinking that you want to date them.
Right. And I don't know.
I mean, that's not the case always. No. But it's just like...
And sometimes when I think that, I think, oh, God, I'm so narcissistic. Like, why would I think that about myself?
Right.
But I legitimately have been in situations in the past where this has happened to me.
Right.
And it's like, what signal was I giving off?
Right. Was I just being nice? Because why would I not be nice to a coworker?
Right. And my niceness was just confused for flirting.
Feelings. Yeah. And stuff.
When in my mind, it was never that. Like it was just me having a genuine conversation with you.
Is he cute?
No. I mean, he just isn't. He isn't my type in any way. Like he's a country boy. I would classify him as, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that just isn't something that I'm not interested in. Yeah, not really my type. So yeah, and that's where I'm just like, God, I don't ever want to get in the situation where he would actually like ask me out, because then if I have to reject him and say no, then it's even more uncomfortable because we still have to do some work things together.
Well, hopefully you just won't do that because you guys are coworkers.
I hope not. But that's like just I don't know. I'm feeling awkward about it.
It is awkward.
And it's not like a short-term thing. Like I'm going to have to continue to be working with him for probably as long as I'm at this job. Yeah. So, oh no, we'll see. I think, and I don't know, he's a little older than me, but I don't know how much because I'm just so horrible at gauging age. But I think like that is kind of the pressure too.
Right.
Like, especially when you live in an area where it's a little smaller and you're of a certain age. I think as men, sometimes they like, not all men, but some of them like feel the pressure of like, oh, I need to be with somebody.
Right. Like I want to be having kids already. Getting married.
Yeah. And I'm just like, you are not it. I'm sorry. But that made me think about just like our main topic today, which we wanted to just talk about weddings and like being in a wedding. But to be clear, like this guy is not my wedding materials. But it's just the whole idea of like the relationship and stuff got me thinking about just long-term relationships and weddings. And I've been in 3 weddings as a bridesmaid, and you've been in
2.
Okay.
As a bridesmaid.
And I don't know, there's so much that we can talk about with this topic, I think. But being in a wedding is challenging.
It is. And I think I feel like it's even different now. There's like so many expectations, and there's the bridal shower, the bachelorette party, just so many different things. And then you have to buy your dress and everything, get your hair and makeup done, buy gifts.
Yeah, it's insanely expensive.
Hotels.
The list goes on and on.
I know, there's so much.
But I agree that it is different from even just like, 10, 15 years ago, I think. Because now like it's not just a bachelorette party, it's a destination bachelorette weekend.
Right. It's like you're taking time, your vacation time on these weddings. And it's like, obviously, it's an honor to be asked to be a part of a wedding, but there are so many expectations that you're expected to do.
Yeah. I know. I think all three of one of the weddings was yours. And then one of the weddings was my friend from college. And then another one was like I've been in 4 weddings. Yeah. You're like, what is she talking about?
Now I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, no, wait a second.
Yeah, I was in 4 weddings. So the last 2 were my like childhood friends.
Yeah.
But all of the experiences have been very different. Like your wedding was more, I would say, like low key, but like traditional in the sense of how you think of like a wedding party would be. Like,
right.
Okay, we had the showers. We did like a short weekend in like a couple hours away from here for the bachelorette. Like it wasn't anything crazy extravagant.
Right.
We all had fun. It served its purpose. And then we had the great day at the wedding. So it wasn't like
all this stuff
super extreme
the whole year. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas another wedding that I was in more recently, it was like, well, I want my bachelorette party to be in Florida.
Right.
So, okay, great. Like Florida's fun, kind of spring break time. But then we all had to go to Florida. And then the wedding was like an hour and a half away. So then we all had to go there. And then I didn't have to fly anywhere, but a lot of other people had to fly in for it. And like the expense of everything just became astronomical.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. It was fun. And I love my friend that I was in that wedding for. But thinking about it, I'm like, God, like I just wouldn't want to do that to people.
I know, because these, especially, our age group are a little younger too. It's like you're just starting out in your job. You're probably paying back student loans and apartments and stuff, and you might be just a single income.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to ask of people to take that time off of work more than once and for that long of a time and to just pay for all that.
Yeah. And I think you run the risk of being like a killjoy.
Right.
Like, because then you're like, oh my God, like I don't really want to spend like $600 on a flight, but everybody else is doing it.
Right.
So then you just feel kind of stuck. And then you've already agreed to be in the wedding. What do you do?
I know. And then it's kind of like, why do we have to go do something like that? It's like just for like the Instagram picture.
Yeah.
Like,
because how did that start? Like
bachelorette and bachelor parties going out of town. Like you always heard about like a night of just going out, but now it's like a full on vacation with these people.
I know. It really is a full vacation. Like you're taking like 5 days away, and then everything that you spend there. I don't know. People are so weird about their money too. Like just in those group settings. I don't know if maybe it's just maybe the way I think about stuff is different, or maybe it's different between like men and women. But like if you're in a group like that, like bachelorette going out, like, okay, I'll get around. Or I'll get us alcohol for the house. Like someone else is going to get this. Someone else is going to get the next round. Like I'm so unbothered by that. But then I found that sometimes people either take advantage or they're like, okay, well then let's split every little expense up and Venmo each other. It's like we all bought stuff. Like, why are we doing this?
I know that is so awkward with like money stuff. And I was in a wedding, but I was pregnant and on the bachelorette party, and I felt really weird. And I guess I probably could have offered to buy drinks, but I just sort of wasn't drinking, and I just felt like weird, and
Yeah.
I wasn't really sure what everyone else was doing because I was just pregnant.
Well, that's awkward.
It
you
was
know?
awkward. I was like, maybe I should have bought a drink or something, but they could have more of the fun
Yeah.
than I could have. So I
But
wasn't really
it's-
sure what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's weird or bad
don't know.
that you did that, but it's just that's would have been really awkward for you because what do you want to be doing out at a bar?
I know, and I had like a fine time, but I honestly debated on whether I should go or not because I was pregnant, and it wasn't like I was, first trimester.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
were
was
pretty pregnant.
pretty pregnant, going, and like I said, I had fun, but I just felt kind of like the annoying person there.
Yeah.
It's like the trailing along.
It's like, oh,
pregnant
well,
lady.
where's Hannah? Oh, she's waddling behind
literally.
us.
That's how I felt. But then it's also, I didn't want to be like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, because then it's like, oh, are people gonna feel bad and want to
Right.
say bad? Like they can
Are
have
they
fun.
going to be mad I'm
Yeah.
not there? Or think it's weird I'm not there?
Yeah. It's awkward too when your bridal party, or I guess it's not just bridal party, but that's what we've experienced.
Right.
So, but when you don't know everybody.
No, I agree.
You know?
It's like, when you're in a situation where maybe you can drink and kind of relax and stuff, I think it's a little easier.
Yeah.
But if you're just the fat pregnant girl, it was kind of.
No one wants to talk to
Yeah.
you.
And then just like making plans and stuff
Yeah.
with these people that you don't really know
Oh,
that well.
That is so difficult.
It is. And you don't know. And like through text and stuff, you don't know the tone of somebody. And
Yes.
if you don't know them very well, you're like, oh, did I upset them?
And it's so easy for things to get misconstrued,
Right.
like via text. I find when you're trying to make plans, or even like, okay, I'm gonna buy this, and like it costs this much, and if you are splitting it, okay.
right.
If you're not, whatever. Like, just I don't know, when just things that you say, like people can easily take them the wrong way, or just things get confusing.
they really do.
And then when you don't know the people, it just
I
makes it
know.
even worse.
I know. And like it's fun to kind of like hang out with, all these ladies and stuff, but it does feel weird.
Yeah, it's just weird because the only connection that all of you have is the bride.
Right. And then it's like, are we competing? Like,
Right.
who knows her better? Who
Yeah.
has this memory with her?
Or like, how much time is she spending with this person? Why am I even here? She
Right.
doesn't even care. Like,
Right.
yeah, I know. That's weird. I think too, is it all just a little too excessive? Like, is it all too much? Like the 6-person like bridal party and 6 groomsmen and
Right.
like, is it just too excessive?
I know.
Like, have we gone overboard? I mean, if I were to get married tomorrow
right.
and not even thinking of if like my future husband has any siblings or anything,
Right.
just from my people, like if it was genuinely just like who would know my relationship the best and who I would want by my
Right.
side, it would literally just be you.
I know, right? And right, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But then it's
You
like,
should.
is that
Yeah.
there's all these other people that I love as my friends,
Right.
but you would feel kind of obligated, you
Right.
know? And I don't want to say that in a negative way,
Right.
but it's just like, I don't want to have like 10 people on each side of
I
the
know.
aisle. Like that just is, are you even that close
I
to all
know.
those people?
Right. And it's like, it feels like sometimes you're just having this person in because you had this person in,
Yeah.
because you had that person in. Or like if your husband had one extra person, you're like, who can I
Yeah, who can I
throw
add?
in here?
Got to even it out.
Right. And I'm happy with everybody I had in my wedding party. What did I have? 5 or 6? 5?
I think you had 5.
5. Like I'm happy with everybody I had in mine, even if I'm not super close with them, but I'm still feel like happy with who was
They
in my
weren't
wedding.
people within your family.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of families, so it's like they're always going to be
Yeah, you didn't have like
around.
random friends.
Yeah, or somebody's second cousin
Yeah.
twice removed.
Yeah. I don't know. And even just with the showers and bachelorette parties, and
Mm-hmm.
I love a good wedding. I love it. It's so fun.
Yes.
But you know, the wedding that I was in most recently, it was so beautiful. The venue, everything
Right.
was beautiful. But I just looked around and I thought, like,
It's just a lot.
This is just so much. And maybe it's just my style.
Right.
You know? And I appreciate everything, and it was a beautiful weekend for that wedding I was in. But when I just think about how much money I spent personally, and then how much money the bride and groom spent,
Right.
and how much money everybody else spent to
Right.
get there, I'm like, God, like,
It's all worth it.
yeah, like, couldn't we have done it a different way? But I mean, it's not up to me because everyone's wedding can be different and whatever
Right.
they want it to be. But I guess it just made me think more about, if I get married, like, what would I want?
Yeah, and what's more important? I wonder if that has to do with age too. Like when
Yeah.
you're younger, you're probably like, "Ooh, yes, I want the whole thing." But when you're older, it's like, actually, I just want something simple, and I only want people there that care about me.
I think too, when you're younger, like if you get married shortly after college
Yeah.
and it was your high school boyfriend or
Mhm.
whatever, you're like, oh, I need to invite all these people from high school and
Right.
all these people from college, and every single one of my like cousins that are 3 times removed, and aunts and uncles I haven't seen in decades. And then you feel pressure from your parents because maybe this is the first wedding in your family.
Right.
But I think sometimes you are seeing or think that you're going to see dollar signs
Right.
with, oh, well, people are going to buy all this stuff from our registry and they're
Right.
going to give us so much money. And it's like, is that really,
I know.
like,
That's
that's not
the
the
exact
point.
reason I don't want to invite extra people to stuff like that, because I don't want them to think I just want money and gifts.
Yeah.
Like I want to actually have a relationship with you.
Right. Or like, I'm sorry, but people don't always give you
I know.
great gifts.
You hope that they're
Yeah.
going to at least, that thing where they're like, give them what you think your meal is going to
Yeah.
cost. But that doesn't mean that's what you're going to get, especially if you invite a younger crowd.
But here's the thing too. I've been not even weddings that I've been in, but just some weddings that maybe were a little low budget. Again, nothing wrong with
Right.
that. It's whatever people can afford to spend. But sometimes people like genuinely are just like, well, screw this. Like, I'm just doing it as cheap as I possibly
Right.
can. I don't care if the food is crap.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, so your plate costs like $10 a meal, but
Right.
yet you're expecting someone to put $150 in your card.
Right. Right.
Like, why would you
Mhm.
expect that from someone
Right.
else? Like, I guess I don't have those types of expectations
No.
for people that I would be inviting to come and celebrate my day.
Right.
Like, I don't just want money from you. I wanted you to be there.
Right. And I wanted you to have a good time.
So I should have gotten the more expensive meal plan.
Right.
Like, I care that you want to eat and have a good time. So here's something more than like half done chicken and a glob of mashed
Right.
potatoes. Yeah, I don't know. All the weddings I've been in have had very different vibes, though. Like,
Right.
all of them have. And the one wedding I was in, it was actually so sad. My one friend from college, and it happened. Remember, like right when COVID.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for her. So she didn't even get to have a bachelorette party
Mhm.
or anything, and she had like 2 bridal showers, but she didn't get to have the one because we were all in lockdown. And then,
Aw.
her wedding got moved into that summer, and then things had kind of loosened up a bit, and it was like such a great day. It was awesome. But that wedding was like really fun because it was just, she's just like more, it was just a laid back vibe, but still really beautiful and not overdone in any way. Like that was a really nice wedding. It was like the perfect mix between like, I would say like your wedding and then that wedding that I was talking about that was a little more excessive.
Right.
Like just right in the middle.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know for me it's tough with being like a guest at a wedding. My husband gets invited to a lot of weddings.
Oh.
And with his work schedule, we don't really get to go anyway. But I always feel weird going to weddings to people I don't really know.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's your special day and we have no relationship.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's weird for me to be there.
And it is kind of weird because if they were that close with your husband, then they should know you.
Right. I know, it does seem where it's like, hey, man, I like you. Come to our wedding, you know? And it's like, I just don't feel comfortable being there.
That is awkward.
I mean, I get like the coworker weddings where it's like, I probably won't really see them that much, but he would have like a relationship with them because they see each other every day. But I don't know. I don't want to be there.
But sometimes, and you said that you get, or he gets invited to these weddings, but then a lot of times you don't end up going to them. But I have a friend who, I don't even know like how many friends you have to get invited to so many weddings. But they, between the two of them, like her and her now husband, they get invited to I mean, it was for a while there. Like, I literally think it was like freaking 10 weddings a year. Like, it was insane. And they would go, and it was like, it wasn't like they were all, you know, semi close to them. It was like, we're going to the Bahamas. We're going to Canada. We're going to, like, I don't even know another state, Michigan, but like all South Carolina. Like, I'm just kind of saying random states, but this is literally how they were like bouncing around so much, and they were traveling for these weddings.
I know, it's like, do you need to go to every single wedding? And how do you know that many people that you're that close with?
Right.
Like, I get family weddings, but I doubt all those are family weddings.
They weren't. They were just friends. And that's where I say, like, everyone is different. Everyone can do their own thing, but it's just like, why are we inviting so many people? Like, I don't think there's any reason unless you just have big families yourselves. And then when you add friends on, like, it can get really large, but like to have like over 200 people at your wedding, that is a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
And I don't know, like you said, do you really want all these people to be celebrating your special day?
It's like, I know, even with my wedding, if I could do it over, for me, I just wanted family there, maybe a few friends, but I just wanted close family. I didn't want like a huge thing. And even if I could do it over, I would want to actually do what I wanted to do. And I think with our weddings and stuff, it always does turn into like what our parents want and everything. My mom was just telling me a story about a friend who was talking to her about her wedding, her daughter's wedding. And she was like, I just don't understand. Like, she's not inviting these people. She doesn't want these people there, like her dad's coworkers and stuff. And she's like, but I don't know them. I don't want them at the wedding. And then they're like, but your dad's paying for the wedding. And that's what you do is like invite all these people. And she was like, no, I don't want them there. I feel like there's like a generational thing there too.
For sure.
Where it's like you used to have to invite your whole family that you never see. Where now people are like, no, I don't need it. It's like the weddings aren't the events that they used to be, I feel like.
Yeah. And some of my family, it's a little more old school, and it is like that.
Right.
Like, we're inviting every single person in our small town. Like,
yes.
Which, okay, fine. But I'm the same way. Like, why would I invite them.
Right.
I literally don't see them.
No.
Or like, if I were to get married, we have some extended family that lives about like an hour and a half away, but I only see them if it's at like a funeral that we were all going
Right.
to, or like some large event that happens maybe once every 3 years. Like,
yes.
it's not like I really have a genuine relationship with them, and they certainly wouldn't have a relationship with the guy I was marrying. So why would I invite them? But then it's my dad. He'd be like, no, well, they should be there because,
Right.
which, and I get it's a celebration for the family. Like, I
Right.
do understand that, but, and then I guess if the parent is paying for the wedding, I don't know. It's like murky
I
waters.
know, it really is murky water. I was just talking to one of my coworkers. She's getting married next year. And she's like, they were going over guest list stuff. And she's like, I don't want the first time I meet you or like we meet you to be at my wedding. Like, that's really awkward. I'm like, that's a good point.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
so true.
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
I don't know though. Like, you're looking your best that
I
day.
know. Like, yes, I can meet you.
I think just part of being in a bridal party though too, every time I feel such a pressure to be fun.
Yeah.
Like on the actual wedding day. Like they always say like, okay, the bridal party never can leave the dance floor. Like they
Right.
need to be the first ones out there. But in reality, it's like I've been up since 7:30
Literally.
getting my hair and makeup done, waiting for everyone else to get their hair and makeup done. I don't want to eat a ton of stuff because I have to get in my dress and I want to feel like comfortable for this
Mhm.
day, but I do want to eat because I don't want to pass out.
Right.
And then it's like, you're having mimosas or whatever in the morning. And then a lot of the weddings I had, you were on a party bus, which
Right.
I don't know if that's like common everywhere or if it's more of in our area. Like, I
Right.
really don't know. But after the wedding, which that's a whole thing because I've been in Catholic weddings, so those are longer. And then getting on the bus and then taking like an hour and a half to get pictures. It's like, now I'm not eating that entire time.
Right.
Then I have to wait to walk in. We've completely missed cocktail hour because
Right.
we have to have our grand entrance. And then it's like, okay, you need to sit down, eat really quick, but also listen and be intent to the
Right.
speeches.
Right.
And then get out on the dance floor.
Yeah.
It's like there's literally no time to just like, okay, I need to eat. I need to drink some water
Mhm.
because I've just been drinking alcohol this whole time. I need to relax and then get out on the floor. Like there's nothing.
It really is such a long day. Like
Yeah.
being in a wedding or being part of a wedding.
But then you feel the pressure. Like,
Right.
no, I have to be out on the floor. Like I have to be
Right.
fun. I have to be dancing. I have to be also socializing
Right.
with people because I'm in the bridal party. And then, okay, well, if we're going out afterwards, like, yeah, I have to go out too,
Right.
even though I'm exhausted.
I know,
and we were
it's-
out the night before. Like,
It's literally 24 hours of, and then you have like the rehearsal before
Yes.
too. And it's like, you don't want to stay out too late for that
Yep.
because you have the whole day tomorrow you got to worry about.
yeah, it is wild. And then even that next day, like sometimes they'll do like a breakfast or something, and or even just when this most recent wedding I was in, we had to pack up the hotel because we
Right.
had been there for like 2 days. And then I had to go down to the little bridal suite and help them get stuff organized. And it was, and I couldn't even like take a break then. And then there were things that were missing and there was all this drama that happened. And then we ended up finding it. It was like, because then our situation at that wedding was after the reception, guess who had to take all the gifts and all the decorations down? We did.
That sucks too when those situations at your venue where they're like, yeah, no, you got to be out by 11 and
Yeah.
everything has to be picked up. And it's like, why is that even a thing?
Right. And so I guess that works out okay if it was like you're staying at the hotel and that's also where your reception was. But that was not the case for this past wedding, and it was a mad rush to get everything cleared out, make sure we didn't leave anything, get all the gifts that they were given there and bring them all back to the bridal suite at the hotel. Like, and then we're like, yeah, let's go out. I tapped out. Like, I was ready to go.
Right.
But then there was too much time in between the end of the reception to when people finally decided that they were officially going to go out. And I was like, no, like, I'm going to bed. I'm done. Like, sorry if this is lame. Like, I can't do it anymore.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
But you do feel that pressure, and you also it was an honor to be asked, so you want to be fun for...
I know, and you want them to have a good time.
Yeah.
I definitely think I was pregnant in one and not pregnant in the other, and the being pregnant really did, or I should say that pregnant really did kind of put a damper on... It's like I had fun and everything, but again, it was like at the end of the night, my husband's like, they want to go out and stuff. And I'm like, I can't be that pregnant person that's just out. And, it's like by then my feet were swollen and I just couldn't. And I felt bad for my husband, but I was like, no, let's go back.
Like, look at me. I can't do this.
Look at this thing. And
I am so pregnant. I can't.
I know, but... That is tough too. And even there's like so many different trends that come with weddings now, where I feel like there's been like 3 weddings in my husband's family, and I feel like you can tell like each year they all were because of the trends, and like with Pinterest. Yeah. And I wonder why like the trends change. Like, I guess maybe just style and stuff, but like the 80s they had those
the
like
puffy,
what if our wedding dresses still looked like that?
Or what if I think like the opposite, like looking in the future, and those kids looking back, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, look at that dress!" Yeah,
like my dress was like the lacy, more fitted-ish dress, and I'm like, that's so gonna be like a trend of
but
that
it's
time.
So weird because when I look at that dress, like, I don't see it as something that's super trendy.
Yeah.
But I know it probably will be.
Right. Like, that time. I don't even know what year that was. 2017, maybe?
16 or
16
17?
or 17. One of those
When
two.
did you give me? No, I think it was 17 because it was after I graduated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's like where there are going to be a ton of people that had like the lacy dresses, and that won't be a thing then.
I know. What will the next trend be in the decades in the future?
And even like the pictures, like I feel like it used to be just like simple pictures. Now it's like you have to have all these crazy pictures, and now it's like a full on photo shoot, like glamorous. And at the end of the day, what are you going to do with these pictures?
That's what I feel too. Yeah, they're beautiful, but like, if I always think, would I put this like on my wall or hanging it on my mantle?
Right.
Like, where do I want this photo to live?
Right.
Like, and I like the pictures of just like the bridal party and then the family.
Right.
And then, maybe some nice pictures of the couple.
Right.
But like all these other ones, I just can't get behind it.
I know, it's just crazy. I just don't know what you do with those. And like my favorite picture from our wedding is when it was like the whole family that was able to come. Like our immediate family that we're close with, like the cousins, the second cousins, and stuff like that. With just us. Like, that's my favorite picture from the wedding.
Not even fully posed.
No,
like,
it's just we're all together in this picture. That's my favorite picture of our wedding.
And then they get all the, like, dramatic shots of the rings stacked on top of each other.
I know. And, like, those are cool. They look cool in the photo album, but it's like, I don't know. And it was and then you have to like take a picture of the dress hanging up, and my son was looking at the pictures and he goes, It was a picture of my wedding dress, and he goes, "Look, it's a ghost." I was like, "Yeah, I guess it sort of does look like a ghost just in the tree." I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Just completely like not even in the context of the wedding.
It's like, yeah, I guess that is sort of a weird picture.
But
just a hanging
I
dress.
agree though, because sometimes, I mean, I think that the dress photos can be really pretty.
Yeah.
But other times the style of the dress, it doesn't hang on the hanger well.
No, and it's not supposed to. It's supposed to hang on your body good.
So it's like sometimes those photos like look so great, and other times you're just like, oh, like if it's a sheer, like more sheer bodice with like lace or something,
right?
But then you can, when they hang it up in front of the window or in the natural light, oh look, now I can see those nude cups that are sewn in for my chest. Like those aren't supposed to be seen.
No.
Takes away the magic of the style.
It does. I do love to see celebrity weddings, though.
Oh, same.
My gosh, like if I could, it's like we say all this, like that's not the way I want my wedding to be. But if you had the money that a celebrity did, I would have a wedding like that.
Well, for sure. And I think if we were celebrities and we were famous, I would be inviting every famous person.
I don't care if we barely know each other.
Like, I would want the wedding of the century. Like, yes, let's go to France and rent out that beautiful, like, castle and have the reception at a vineyard.
Yes.
Like, I want that.
I know. Like, I remember, this was stupid, but Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau, and I was like, did they invite so many people? And then I was like, oh, because it's amazing. And it was literally everybody came. And it's like, if you were famous, everybody's gonna come to your amazing wedding.
Well, then at that point too, it's like if you are a person who wasn't invited, you're like,
I'm not relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that. It changes a lot. If
I know.
You have.
I love looking at the dresses, and I loved like Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber's wedding. Her dress,
just so glamour. Even Nicola Peltz and Brooklyn Beckham.
Yeah.
That was stunning.
Just all these beautiful weddings. I just love looking at celebrity wedding dresses.
But I love the dresses too. But the thing about anybody's wedding, it literally is just the one day. Like,
I know.
Even if you have like it bookended between something with the day before and the day after, it still is just that one big event on the day, and then it's all over. And so it makes me kind of sad because there's all the anticipation, and then
I know, and then it's just over. I even remember my wedding. It was like, oh, we had the wedding, and then all of a sudden, it was dark out. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, where did the day go?
Sad when everybody just like goes home, and
I know
it's just so sad.
That just makes me think though, if celebrities or anybody puts all this money into the wedding and it's like all this, you know, you're amping it all up and everything is about the day. Mm-hmm. It's like, are those marriages going to be the ones that are long lasting? Like, were you more focused on
the wedding?
Yeah, the
being
big
amazing
party, and then afterwards, what do you have?
Nothing.
Right. It's sad.
You know, it is literally just a day. But I mean, I guess it's a good day or whatever. But if I could redo it, though, I honestly would have just wanted me and my husband there. Just do a little thing.
I know.
I guess I'm glad I did like the walk down the aisle. But
I think I would probably be like murdered by my father or other members of my family if I did that. But I'm always just like, oh, I'd go to Vegas. Or like, crazy. Going to the courthouse wouldn't be too bad. Like, I just think, I don't know, it's almost more intimate.
It is. And I worked with a girl who went and got married in Vegas, and She had and it was just him and her, and they had the prettiest pictures. Like they went out to like the desert and stuff, and it was like, wow, it was just so cool.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like the drive-through wedding in Vegas that you like typically think of, or
I know.
where you go to the little chapel and you pick out one of the polyester dresses that they
It's
have.
like you could still have what you want, because you do spend like a year or two even planning this huge big wedding for just that one day.
And all your conversations really are focused on that. So like genuinely, I think it can help or hurt a relationship, because you spend all that time. That's all that you're focused on.
I know.
And then after it's gone,
go to the taste testing and everything. And then all that hype, like there's so much hype for that one day. And then, like we said, it's just over.
I get my lashes done sometimes, like a lash lift and tint, and sometimes she'll do like facials on me and stuff. So my esthetician, she's amazing, but I was talking to her when I was in this last wedding I was in and just telling her about stuff, and she's like, my husband and I, like, we just eloped and we spent like, a couple $1,000, and that was it. Like, we had a nice trip.
Right.
And she's like, I think anybody can do what they want, but like that was great for us. And you don't need all that other stuff. Right. It's about like your relationship and your commitment to each other. It's not about everything else. And sometimes I really do think it gets lost. Not to like take this to like a more meaningful note in the podcast, but like really, I think sometimes it does.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
But anyway, yeah, it was just funny her telling me. And she's like, we've been married for, 25 years or something. I'm like,
well, what did they say? The more expensive the wedding, or maybe it's bigger the ring, the shorter the...
Oh, yeah.
I used to like to watch, I'm sure, we both were watching all those wedding shows on TLC and like
Say Yes to the Dress.
Yes, and four weddings. I used to love that one, but they would be so critical of each other. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are people thinking that about my wedding or like and stuff? But I used to think it was so funny when they're like, yeah, the food was not at the right temperature. It was only at 224 degrees when it should have been at 225.
Sometimes they would be so critical about the dress.
Like, and it was uncomfortable.
Yes, I'd always feel so bad. And then you'd see their wedding and you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's like you did all this judging. Yeah. But I always thought that was such a fun show. Like, heck yeah, I want to go.
I remember watching it, though, and being like, this is kind of awkward.
It is.
You are only here for the TV show, and you guys are seated at a random table with yourselves, and then also sometimes other random people,
just to judge and score on a wedding. Like, I can't imagine like being able to enjoy my day when thinking about the fact that somebody is literally
writing down
scores
on a scorecard,
like judging your wedding. Like,
what did they win a honeymoon?
They won the honeymoon.
Okay, I couldn't even remember. And that show was weird too, because like, were the weddings, did they judge it by like how close they were in dates?
I know, I wondered that too, because like was it like every episode was taking over the course of a year?
Yeah.
Or did you have to have your wedding be by this certain date?
Right.
Or was it in a month where it was like each weekend?
Yeah, you had to go to a wedding. Yeah, that's kind of weird to think about, because then if it was over the course of a year, it's like, okay, well, I got married in February and now I have to wait until November to see if I won this honeymoon.
It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you remember the show that was, I cannot remember what it was called, but you'd get like 3 wedding designers or something, and you got to pick at the end which design you liked.
Was
the
it
best.
a TLC show?
I think so. It was like Just probably design my wedding or plan my wedding or something.
They never really
I
had
used
that.
to like that too because it was like, ooh, this is fun. And they'd show them around the different venue that they wanted.
Vaguely remember that, but I wonder if I'm just remembering it because you're talking about it. But there was all those wedding shows. They had a lot on TLC.
I know.
Though.
And I loved Say Yes to the Dressed Bridesmaids.
Oh, yes.
And you just see all these toxic,
those relationships and those, all those
sorry that you're too big for that, but it looks good on everyone.
Yeah, it looks good on everybody else. So,
or the way the bridesmaids would be like, I don't like this. It's it's not about you.
Right.
I don't care if you like it. That's what I want.
I think it was only the one wedding that I really did not like my dress. But that's one too many. Unless you're going to spend a ton of money on a bridesmaid's dress, it's a bridesmaid's dress.
You're at just a bridal shop. It's not you're fine.
Just wear it for the night. Never wear it again.
Literally.
Get over it. Hate how you look in the pictures. Yada yada. We've all been there. Yep. Yeah, that's funny. But I have 2 cousins getting married this year.
I have one cousin getting married, and my son's in it, and I'm excited just to enjoy the wedding. I don't go to very many weddings, but this one I'm going to, and I think it's just he's gonna do his little part, and then he's getting out of there.
Is he gonna wear a little suit?
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be more casual for him.
Yeah.
But
I always think it's kind of cute when they get him in a little suit, though. They're just so small.
I know. No, I think she said, I tried to ask them about it, and she was like, I don't really care. I'm like, well, I'll just ask you again closer.
Yeah, because then you might have some preferences. Yeah. Well, to kind of wrap things up, everyone knows Vanderpump. We're just briefly touching on it. Not long today, we promise. We're mad that we have to wait for the reunion. We've seen a lot of photos and video footage of some trysts going on in a parking lot. And
it definitely looks like it's going to be intense. I cannot wait. It sucks that we have to wait. I wish they would just, because of everything that happened, just show us all the episodes today or something.
I know.
And then let us have the reunion once it's all edited.
Because how many more episodes are there?
I think we're only on episode 7, and there's probably at least 13, right?
So we have to wait
all next month.
Long.
Yeah, because they weren't going to show the reunion until May, I think.
Oh.
It's not fair.
No, it isn't.
I wish we didn't even know they filmed the reunion.
I know,
because
me too.
Now it's couldn't they have just done that in secret?
I know. I wish we didn't know about it because that's all I'm going to be thinking about.
I know.
Well, for my recommendation for this week, this is kind of random, and it's not a specific one thing, but it's at Target. Have you ever gone to that one aisle where they have snacks and they have all those different types of mixes, trail mixes?
Yes. Are you talking about, I can't remember what it's called.
What is it, Good Full or Good Day? Good Day. Yeah, something. I wish I should have brought the pack because I have one. But I was there the other day and I got the, what was it? The s'mores, I think.
Oh, I love the Monster one.
Yeah, they're all just so good.
Do you ever get the seasonal ones? They get them for Easter, they do, or spring. They're so good. They're more fun ones than just trail mix. Yeah. But they're so good. There's bunny food or something. They're cute. So good.
Yeah, I got a sweet one and a savory one, and the other one was I can't remember. The one is the Tex-Mex mix, and then the other one is I can't remember what it was called, a spicy Chipotle or something. I can't remember, but so good.
I know. I love that Monster one. I haven't really tried too many of those in just the Eastery ones, but man, oh man.
They're just, I know that they're supposed to just be there's 7 servings in this, but I could just eat the entire bag.
I literally, whenever I have those, I just come home from work and just eat it till I can't stop. And then my son's there and I'm just handing him M&Ms.
Yeah.
Like, get your hands out of here. I'll give it to you. I'll eat the raisins too.
It's so good. So that's my recommendation. And I mean, I'm sure they have them other places than Target. I know everybody has this, but Target, they have such a variety.
They do. That's a great brand. Well, I'm going to recommend a YouTube channel called Possessed by Horror. And I really like her, and she talks about different scary movies and does reviews. Some with spoiler free, but she always tells you when she's gonna do spoilers.
Oh, that's
and then
nice.
She also usually has a lot of horror movie news.
Nice.
And she just became a mom too. So if you go onto her other channel, she talks about that, and she's actually really. I like all the stuff she has to say, but that's why I recommend.
Well, that's a good one. I'll have to look at that because I haven't seen it before. Well, thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you again next week. Don't forget to listen to us on Spotify and any other platform where you find your podcasts, and give us a nice rate and review.
Bye.
Bye.